Chosen one, hey you, yes you. This moment isn't random. You didn't stumble here by chance. Something greater led you. Out of everyone, you were meant to hear this. There's a reason your heart's been stirring lately. Like something big is just around the corner. That's not anxiety, that's alignment. You've been marked for something more, something real. This is your confirmation, your final call, your undeniable sign. What's coming next? It has your name written all over it. So take a breath. Lock in. Because after this, nothing will be the same. A moment arrives like thunder hidden inside silence, demanding not your attention, but your surrender. What's unfolding now isn't coincidence or chance. It's a surge beneath the surface, a recalibration of everything you thought was dormant. What you whispered under your breath when no one was around, what you dreamt without hope. They've all been set in motion. This isn't about patience anymore. It's about ignition. The stillness you mistook for waiting was the inhale before the leap. And now, the jump is inevitable. It's not random. It's not vague. This shift has your name etched into its design, encoded in a frequency only you can feel when you're quiet enough, looking for purpose and peace. Hit subscribe and start the journey. No time remains to hesitate in the doorframe. Step forward, not with logic, but with knowing. Let your inner compass spin. Let the walls shake. You are being asked not to believe, but to become. The life you thought existed beyond the horizon is already at your heels. But entry is conditional. You must cross the threshold unblinking. Before anything else, still your thoughts. Do these 3 symbolic acts. Raise this message to light. Mark yourself among the awakened, and inscribe the number 55 below. That number is not just a sequence. It's a resonant trigger. A pulse that unlocks what language cannot express. It's a flare into the unseen, the cipher to your transition. If something within you stirs, then you're already halfway through. And yet, be warned. This isn't decoration or vague inspiration. This was forged to reach you only if your spirit is crackling with readiness. If not, turn away. Because after this moment, return is not an option. This is the key in the lock. The threshold has heard your name. The silence has spoken, and everything shifts now. A transmission arrives like a spark cast from a stormless sky, impossible to trace, but impossible to ignore. It wasn't meant to come easily. It was muffled, disrupted, pulled back into shadow more than once. But what resists the light only delays the inevitable. Something vast has broken past the silence. Not random, not glitch. This was encoded into your path long before now. What separates the seen from the unseen is beginning to dissolve. A fracture is forming, not in the world, but in perception. Forces work tirelessly to contain this signal, fearing the magnitude of its ripple. But there's no containment left. The pushback, the fog, the looping delays, they were all confirmations. Something weightless but mighty is anchoring itself in you now, and only those attuned can hear it ring. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $10 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. It was never about spectacle. It was never designed for applause. This is not an echo of belief. It's the original sound of knowing. If this message finds resonance within you, it's because you've long since moved past the edge of the ordinary. This isn't for everyone. This found you because it was required to. Time has held its breath. The quiet pause before a great unfolding has ended. The shift has outgrown its waiting place. Everything once out of reach has now recalibrated around this very instant. Delay has expired. No further permission is needed. And lately, there's been a strange magnetic pull inside you, unspoken, yet constant. It didn't rise from worry. It wasn't confusion. It was alignment stretching awake. That hum beneath your ribs wasn't fear. It was readiness. This moment is the threshold, and it has finally opened. What once waited has become now. What once slept has risen. The current is moving, and it's carrying you into the center of your appointed transformation. There comes a point when reality bends. Not as a trick, but as an instruction. What's unfolding isn't a moment, It's a pivot on a scale far beyond comprehension. The clock no longer ticks as it once did. What required patience before now arrives in sudden bursts. Locks dissolve, intersections form without warning, and what once stood still begins to accelerate. This isn't build-up. This is activation. The message is clear for those who resonate beyond the surface. Take this seriously. It isn't a rehearsal. A transmission has been released, not to plant fear, but to awaken awareness. If your inner world has been pulsing with anticipation, it's because a recalibration is already underway. Change isn't coming. It's crossing the threshold now. And only those tuned into a deeper frequency will recognize it. Those fixated on routine will see only randomness, mistaking the signals for background noise. But for those attuned, this shift strikes a chord beneath thought. It's not here to startle, but to ignite motion. You're not entering preparation. You've already passed it. What's next demands motion, not theory. This message challenges the illusions that once disguised stagnation as safety. Realignment can be disruptive, but its purpose is renewal. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. Everything is being stirred, not from outside, but from within the very system of existence. This is not about spectacle or headlines. It's about who has been listening when no one was speaking. Something extraordinary is set to emerge, not measured in days or by sensors, but through an unmistakable internal awakening. To many, it will appear as confusion. To the few, it will feel like perfect direction. Expect the unexplainable. Expect the strange. Expect shifts in logic and cracks in pattern. These disturbances aren't glitches. They're signals sent through the framework of the world, carrying unseen codes of purpose. Barriers once shut tight are being lifted. What was concealed is being set free in waves of intention. Intentions shaped long before now. The signal won't come through traditional outlets. It arrives in sensations, impressions, and deep knowing. If you ever asked for confirmation, this is it. The ground beneath normalcy is adjusting. Pathways are emerging. The ones who hid behind routine will miss it. But for those alert, everything will suddenly make sense. The world may try to label these events as mere anomalies, but underneath, a pattern pulses. One that doesn't speak through logic, but through inner translation. Something is accelerating. Cycles are collapsing. The tempo of time feels unstable for a reason. And while many feel it as vague unease, a deeper blueprint is unfolding. What looks like interference is actually an announcement. An atmospheric retuning is occurring, not to alarm, but to elevate. Feeling like you've outgrown your surroundings? That's not disconnect. That's alignment rising. Others may see confusion. You will see confirmation. What's opaque to the world is crystal clear for those ready to embody it. The static in systems, the gaps in connections, the odd timing, they're not flaws. They're signals of a deeper structure surfacing. The realms are sinking. The unseen is beginning to touch the visible. Prepare, not with fear, but with full presence. Everything is about to echo with meaning. The design is already in motion. When motion begins at the highest frequencies, even the constructs of logic hesitate. Something is shifting beyond atmosphere and comprehension. And when that invisible hand begins its sequence, the frameworks built by intellect and invention tremble. Signals may falter, systems may glitch. Don't panic. These are the footprints of power, reshaping everything from the unseen outward. Messages don't always come through volume. They sometimes ride the stillness. But this is not silence. It is coded vibration. The ether is alive with activity. Movements are being made without public announcement. Things long closed are now stirring. And though the world has been loud, this moment was never about noise. It was about divine timing reaching its cue. What felt like absence wasn't emptiness. It was the hidden sound of something being constructed beneath your surface. What appeared as delay was the deep work of design, outside your view, but destined for your reality. The pattern is revealing itself now. And this time, it's not cosmic. It's personal. Deeply so. Connections are being rewritten. Internal structures, your thoughts, bonds, emotions, are being reorganized to accommodate what was always meant to arrive. This moment is calibrated, precision made. That season of quiet wasn't punishment. It was to sharpen your signal, remove the static, You were being prepared to move in rhythm with something far greater than explanation. The nights that bled into mornings, the pauses that felt eternal, the partings that left you fragmented, they were all chiseling tools. You weren't being broken. You were being formed. And now, what once looked like subtraction is proving itself as a bridge to everything ahead. You'll know now who stayed as scaffolding and who was meant to build with you. Alignment is beginning. The magnetic pull you feel isn't desperation. It's direction. You're no longer drifting. Others may not understand this sensation, but you do. You're not being removed from the world. You're being raised within it. This isn't about disappearance. It's about distinction, that if your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $10 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. Your energy is changing. It will walk ahead of you and speak before you do. Environments will notice. People will sense something unspoken. But it's not performance, it's presence. This isn't for escaping pain. It's for embodying purpose. The shift isn't about withdrawal. It's about arrival. You're being entrusted with weight that no longer burdens. What once exhausted you will now empower you. You're stepping into visibility, but not for applause. This is for fulfillment. Many may ask, what happened? But only you will know what was truly unfolding in the background all along. If invisibility ever felt like your only companion, understand this. That chapter is closing. The quiet acts, the uncelebrated consistency, the unseen sacrifices, they have not gone unnoticed. The time of sowing in silence is yielding its harvest. But don't look for it through conventional doors. It will arrive outside the expected routes. The turning point won't ask permission. It will appear, without announcement, and place you where you were always meant to stand. No formality. No delay. Just positioning. Why? Because you kept showing up when nothing echoed back. Because you carried the fire without an audience. And now the wind is shifting in your direction. There is a recalibration happening in places unseen, one where the lens of favor is shifting direction. No longer drawn to noise or spectacle, the gaze settles on those who walked in silence, yet remained unwavering. Those who cried in hidden corners and still chose integrity. The ones who stayed rooted when nothing around them confirmed the choice. What's coming next isn't accident, it's acknowledgement. The kind only the unseen record keeper can release. What's unfolding is more than emotional stirring. It's the release of substance. Tangible shifts are emerging not for display, but for deployment. The reserves of heaven weren't designed as decoration. They're tools for impact. Influence, clarity, and resource are being distributed to those who won't mistake blessing for performance. What flows now is not about appearance. It's about assignment. The moment of scarcity is coming to an end. Those who survived on crumbs are about to steward harvest. The faucet isn't turning on because of tactics or influence. It's opening because alignment has met its timing. New clarity will awaken dormant ideas. Unforeseen alignments will begin forming like dots finally connecting after years of chaos. There's movement behind the veil because the ones who've been overlooked are about to step into spaces meant for creation, not survival. With increase comes greater reach, not just material, but spiritual governance. Those who once felt like outsiders to the system are now being given authority to rebuild it. A new kind of voice is rising, anchored in wisdom, not ego. Doors once shut are unlocking in multiple realms: culture, thought, design, teaching. The fearful step back. Now the faithful rise forward. The call doesn't come wrapped in noise. It finds those who've remained sharpened, even in silence. There's no room for spiritual drift. Precision is essential. This is the moment where stillness becomes readiness. The shift won't wait for your schedule. It will arrive unannounced, like lightning over dry ground. This is the moment that demands awareness in motion. Waiting to get ready is no longer viable. The instruction is now. Stay prepared. Live sharpened. Move alert. Hold clarity like a compass. Now is the time to tend to the soul. Disconnect from distractions that dim your sensitivity. Let go of the clutter in your thoughts. There's a signal coming, and missing it would mean missing alignment itself. This isn't to stir fear. It's an invitation to function in sync with the current of purpose. When your name is spoken in the spirit, you must be able to respond immediately. Keep your internal house in order. The call won't arrive as an announcement. It will show up as a moment, a shift, an inner prompting. And when it does, you'll either move with it or be caught unprepared. Confusion has served its time. Ambiguity is retreating. Now comes sharpness, direction. You're about to see why certain seasons folded the way they did. The questions will find their answers. What didn't make sense is about to make purpose. Where once you hesitated, you'll now move in confidence. The fog is lifting. The noise is quieting. And what rises is clarity, pure and divine. There will be no guessing, just knowing. A higher perception is being granted, not just for vision, but for navigation. From this moment forward, you aren't chasing the next thing. You are being guided to the right thing. The direction that's arriving isn't sourced from intellect. It's coming through revelation. Encounters are forming. Strategic souls are making their way into your sphere. The draining connections are dissolving. What's forming now is purpose-tied partnership, undeniable and divinely timed. There's a moment when your soul outgrows the room it's been sitting in. The compression is ending. Like threads weaving themselves into divine formation, connections are forming with precision, not for comfort, but for momentum. Each aligned heart is being drawn together by unseen design. This isn't casual, it's catalytic. The threshold of a massive unseen shift is under your feet. Before this month turns its final page, a sharp redirection will pierce the timeline. The flow of events will lurch forward, bypassing the old pace entirely. What once crawled will now leap. What was paused is now in motion. The timeline has been condensed for those marked for impact. Where you waited, you will now advance with extraordinary speed. What lingered will suddenly appear, not through striving, but through divine propulsion. What looked like standstill was soil. The delay was fertilizer for depth. Without rootedness, the weight of movement would crush instead of elevate. But now, those deep roots are being called upward fast. And when the signal strikes, you must not stall. Don't question what's already been confirmed in your spirit. Obedience must move with the same velocity as the shift. This isn't just momentum, it's repositioning. Everything is changing, not just what surrounds you, but where you stand in the story. Doors that resisted you before are about to unbolt without force. Delay is being overridden. Old boundaries are dissolving. This isn't the time to wonder if you're worthy. Heaven has already made its decision. You've been summoned into visibility. This call doesn't knock gently. It comes loud, burning, electric. Not based on appearance, not on accolades, but on frequency, endurance, and internal yes spoken when no one else could hear. That quiet surrender you whispered through uncertainty, it's echoing now into reward. You didn't need to perform for this mantle. You were prepared for it. The world isn't waiting for more performers. It's aching for presence. Your presence. One that carries gravity, clarity, and restoration. What's been placed in your hands isn't for applause. It's for awakening. This is the moment you're meant to shift atmospheres. You were meant to blend in. You were crafted to realign the air around you. Now comes the unlocking, not of treasure chests, but of sacred vaults, timed not by you, but by eternity. Stored intentions are now being distributed, not as luxury, but as restitution. Justice cloaked in opportunity. Healing disguised as favor. Doors didn't forget you. They were instructed to open only when your readiness had matured. This is targeted release. Nothing random. Every private ache, every unnoticed sacrifice, every unseen act of surrender, each one has been kept in divine record. This was never about being overlooked. It was about timing that required spiritual trust. And now, the vault that bears your name is opening. Its contents don't just carry supply, they carry justice. What's coming isn't limited to the material. It includes clarity where confusion reigned. It brings healing where weariness lived. It activates purpose where delay lingered. You're not entering a moment of leftover blessings. You're stepping into the overflow that was tailored for your impact. This is not your sign to hope. It's your signal to move. What was held for you is now being handed to you. Let your heart remain soft. Let your awareness stay sharp. Because this outpouring has your name on it, and it doesn't knock twice. There's a rare breed who chooses devotion in secret while others perform in public. They turn down applause to chase alignment. They opt for conviction over comfort. And though they walked uncelebrated it, through long corridors of silence, a change is underway. The veil is thinning, and those quiet yes are echoing into open reward. What once looked like isolation was actually sacred preservation. When you stayed the course, losing ground, losing people, yet keeping your soul intact, you weren't losing at all. You were being set apart, not forgotten. Every closed door, every cost paid in silence, is about to be reversed through a divine unveiling. You won't have to explain what's happening. It will speak for itself. And the answer will be clear: obedience, not performance. This shift isn't about grandeur. It's about a public reminder that integrity still shakes foundations.